Hey everybody, this is Sherry and I'm back with my fourth card in the series using the Fuzzy Flamingo stamp set from Clearly Besotted. Here I'm just taking my Versamark ink and I'm using it to do a tone on tone or make a watermark on my cards. And what I did was I picked three of the flamingos from the stamp set. I wanted the three that looked alike, that one was facing straight on, one to the left, one to the right. Well, here I put my stamps in one of my stamps in the wrong place, or two, should I say, and actually ended up using the one flamingo that's winking and didn't even notice it till I was like halfway done. And the cards I've been doing for the last few weeks have been an example of like what not to do in card making, and this one is no exception. Oh, honest to goodness, guys, I don't know where my head's been. So I'm just finishing this up, getting the rest of the flamingos on there to make sure it looks all nice and filled in. And then there's a tiny heart in the set, and I just go around and I use it to fill in any space in between that might look like it just needed a little something something. And so I'm getting it in there, and this is going to be the front of my card, and it's a 110-pound Recollections card base. And I love that cardstock. It's usually very thick and it looks very nice, but for some reason I struggled with this one. And so I go ahead and I get um, my STD out, and I use the Smile stamp set by Pink and Main, and I put my smile thing on there. And I don't know, again, I don't know what I was thinking. I did not get it straight. So I am going to buy some grid paper to help me out with this, because not only did I not stamp this piece good, but well, this piece I left a hole in it. I didn't pay attention and I missed a spot. And then the inside sentiment it's just completely crooked. It's just a mess. And so again, I don't know how many times I wanted to just give up. And here I was trying to see, put my embossing powder on the word smile, and my ink was still wet. So I wiped everything off, and I'm using my heat gun to dry it. I had to dry it 5 times, people. I just keep saying, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but it's driving me crazy. So I go ahead and I use my Recollection Snow embossing powder, and I've got just an old paintbrush here to clean up anything that I could see that looked like, it was stuck there, and just cleaned it all off, got my heat gun out, and I made sure I heated it up in advance before I brought it to my card. But yet my card just warped, and it just, I don't know, no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to straighten out. Now here's another, and watch. I'm getting ready to put my sentiment on and realize that, I didn't want it on the front, I wanted it on the inside. But at least I caught that one in advance, right? So I go ahead, put down my powder, put in my sentiment, and clean up my old one. And again, I don't know, I didn't straighten it up. I don't know why I didn't notice it, but I didn't. And it's just as crooked as all get out. So I go ahead and I use my Versamark, stamp it again, and bring my embossing powder over and clean it up, melt the sentiment. And I'm thinking, all right, Sherry, it's a handmade card, it's fine, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it was driving me insane. And so I clean up my embossing powder and get everything straightened up so that I can, thinking that at this point I'm done. Wrong, I'm not done. So here I am using my t-shirt to clean up the card and get the powder off. And that's a little tool that they use for ceramics, but it was just popping anything off that I missed. And it just little click, and it just popped right off. It didn't leave a mark. It didn't do anything. It worked out perfect. And there it is, right? And I hate it. So I'm thinking, all right, this needs something. What am I going to do? So I thought if I added a little strip of white paper, that it would ground the sentiment and make it look better, and then I would like it better. And there I am again trying to get this card base to unwarp and just feel not so horrible in my hand. I don't know what it was, and you can see here that my smile's crooked, and just one thing after another. So I trimmed that off, and I'm thinking, all right, cool, this is going to be much better. Well, it isn't. So I go ahead and I get out my trimmer and I decide to cut the panels apart, trim them down to 4 by 5 1/4 for both the front and the inside, and I add it to a white 110-pound Recollections card base. And you can see there that I cut the one side and not the other because the sentiment wasn't even centered right. And so I trim it down, trim down the inside, and this one, because I knew it was crooked, I was able to straighten it up by trimming it a little. And so I was able to do that, and that took care of the problem on the inside. And I figured the front wasn't too bad, that you really couldn't notice that much, so I went ahead and left it, just putting my ATG tape on there and attaching it to the inside of my A2 size card. All right, guys, that's it. Super sweet and simple if you don't mind all the mistakes. Thanks for visiting me today, guys, and happy crafting. Bye.